building habits is important. It might be the most important thing. Maybe it's the foundational building block of all success. And it's hard. It's really hard. Maybe it's the hardest thing. I don't know. What I do know is every 5 or 6 years, a new book comes out, a new TED Talk, a new something, where somebody lays out, here's the science of it all, this is all you have to do. And it's great, and it works great for millions of people, and it's a smashing success for everyone but us, because there's a missing ingredient. It's like we're all sitting at a dinner table, and there's this big bowl, and they're giving everyone the same serving size out of the same bowl, and you eat yours, and everyone else is, this is so good, this needs nothing, this is the perfect food, I'll eat this every day for the rest of my life. And you're like, I don't know, this needs something, and I don't know what. And then you look over at your co-conspirator, the old man at the end of the table with the Tabasco sauce and a twinkle in his eye, and he's laying it on thick. He's Tabasco sauce on everything he eats. You know the old man. Let's call him our grandpa. Our hypothetical, no family baggage associated metaphorical grandpa. Who puts Tabasco on everything. And your whole life you've been like, this old man, he doesn't know what he wants to eat. He just puts Tabasco on everything. He's never tasted real food a day in his life. And now you know, Metaphor Grandpa is onto something. He's got it figured out. It doesn't matter what you're eating. Grandpa can eat anything as long as he's got his Tabasco there. And not just eat it, he eats it and he loves it. So what is our missing ingredient in all of these magical habit solutions? What is the Tabasco sauce that will save us from pretending to love this bland mashed potatoes disaster that everyone else thinks is the most delicious thing they've ever tasted? Metaphor Grandpa uses Tabasco because he likes it. And it's the simple question of asking ourselves, what do we like? Not just what we like, because oftentimes when we say that, we get aspirational. Like, I like reading. And maybe you do like reading, but when you sit down to actually devote time and attention and energy to reading, it's hard. So what do we like that's easy for us to do? What do we turn to when we need that feeling of calm and peace? And how can we sprinkle that on all the mashed potatoes in our lives? For me, my seasoning, right now, at least, is sports anime. It's been a hyperfixation of mine for the last 4-ish years, and typically, in my experience, that means it's going to stick around for a while. So how can I take sports anime and put those into the habits that I want to form and develop? Well, for starters, I need to look at what is it about this thing that I seem to turn to with unlimited time and energy. What is it in there that speaks to me? What's the spiciness in that? And for me, it's seeing ostensibly ordinary characters, right? They're like, you'll never find really super duper ordinary people in shonen anime. They've always got some freak head start on the rest of the world. But people who are realistic, who have realistic goals and have realistic ways of achieving them. And that makes why I like sports anime sound really boring. After all, why not just look around? Those people are around me, ordinary people achieving ordinary goals, right? But the way in which it is presented, the music, the animation sequences, just really, it hits home in a way that nothing else can. So, I want to start exercising. I want to get in shape. I want to be like these bombastic anime high schoolers who can jump 6 feet in the air and all have six packs all the time. But I'm not going to get straight there. I can't just take a giant plate, the biggest plate of these mashed habit potatoes, and just because I've got my seasoning, it's not going to go down easy. So what is the smallest effective dose of building that I want to be in shape habit? What's the tiniest, most attainable, easy win that I can have? I'd say, for those of us who are lucky to be walking around, going on a walk, okay? Going on a walk sounds awesome. How am I going to put sports anime into the mix? Okay, Well, I have this Japanese Gatorade brand water bottle that's in so many of these sports anime. So that's going to help me be hydrated for my walks. But what about the actual walking? And how can I avoid the ADHD pitfall of, okay, I want to put so much seasoning into this. I want to make it so my thing that I'm going to spend all this money on it before I do it. I'm going to buy the best walking shoes. I'm going to buy the best walking pants. I'm going to do research. What's the best weather to walk in? Oh, I can't walk today. You know, it's that humidity index. How can I just get in it and get started? Okay, sports anime. Music is a big part of why I really like sports anime, specifically Yuki Hayashi's music. More specifically, the Run with the Wind soundtrack. Please go watch Run with the Wind if you haven't, or don't. I am not the anime police. So taking that soundtrack and listening to it while I'm going on a walk seems like it's too obvious a solution. But the part of my brain that is so chemically starved for dopamine will literally take it wherever we can find it. That's how I end up playing mobile games for 6 hours instead of doing the dishes. So if you take a little bit of that thing that you like, tiny little bit, and sprinkle it into the smallest unit of the habit that you want to build, things will snowball from there. So what started as listening to anime music, going on a walk sometimes, turned into a morning walk, turned into a morning sled pull, turned into a morning sled pull followed by push, pull, or legs days, followed by now I have a fitness routine that feels like it's been there all along, that it was just waiting for me to discover it, because it's not the version of it that was handed to me. It was the version of it that I discovered through understanding my taste and understanding why I like the things that I like. What in those things that I enjoy represents my values or my ideal self. I encourage you to look at a habit that you want to form. Look at in your spice rack, look at one of your seasonings and think of how you can combine those two things. Combining goals and hyperfixations is one of my long-term thesis statements for this channel. You'll hear me talking about it a lot. Right now, one of my goals is to be more creative. And that's vague and broad. One of my goals is to create more, right? To make more videos, to make more things with my friends, to spend more time with my friends making art. So I'm starting a sports anime podcast. I'm standing here right now talking to you about sports anime on a YouTube channel about playing role-playing games with ADHD and autism. And I'm doing that because it gives me what I need to get through that next bite of forming this habit. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to my cats for making this video very tough to record. If you want to hang out with me on some productivity streams, sometimes I'm journaling, sometimes I'm just playing a video game that feels good to play. I'm going to be playing a lot of Switch sports. I want to call it Wii Sports Switch. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. I'm going to be playing a lot of that when it comes out on Twitch. So come hang out with me at twitch.tv/the_ADHDM. Almost lost it there. I know my URLs. I would love to hear about your habit goals and your Tabasco sauce. Maybe you're having trouble identifying your seasoning. Come talk about it on our Discord. That link's in the description. Thank you for watching.